website for one of our clients, we make sure that they have all 4 of these. Okay, let's analyze some companies that are doing really well at Facebook marketing. First, we have Ben & Jerry, and check this out. They asked people what their favorite ice cream flavor was, and they got 67,000 people to respond. This is huge. A few years ago, a company like this, when they wanted an input from so many consumers, they had to pay a lot of money to market research companies. Now they can get all this information for free, and not only they got votes, but they also got a lot of people to like this and to put comments. This is just priceless information. We have Pizza Hut. Earlier in the webinar, I talked about asking questions. Okay, check this out. Pizza Hut is saying, we're going to have a comedy festival. What kind of jokes should we tell? Knock-knock jokes or practical jokes? And this might sound like a really stupid question, but you can see that in only 5 hours, 103 people liked this and 30 people commented. This only happened in 5 hours. Okay, so get your audience involved. Don't be just a someone announcing stuff to your audience. Get them engaged. Get them to be part of the conversation. Then we have Starbucks, and Starbucks does a really good job at encouraging their fans to submit their photos. And you can see people from all over the world drinking their Starbucks coffees. Then we have Red Bulls, and we talk about contests. Okay, so this is a very attractive page, and they have a really nice logo here and a very clear call to action to get started with a contest. Jack in the Box, this is one of my favorite examples. Jack in the Box donated a nickel for every fan they got, I think it was for the last 4 weeks. And the contest actually ended a couple of days ago. So they got 230,000 new fans for only $12,000. Okay, so if you're a small business owner, $12,000 might sound like a lot of money, but this is a national chain that spends millions of dollars in advertising, and they could get almost 250,000 people to pay attention to them, and a 250,000 people that gave Jack in the Box permission to send them updates for only $12,000. This is a freaking great deal. Okay, so this is one of my favorite examples. And just so you know that not only big companies can have successful pages. This is a page called Having Fun in San Francisco. The first thing I like about this page is the actual name of the company is San Francisco Tours LLC, but they didn't call the page that because they knew that calling a page that is not going to get them any fans. But if you live in San Francisco, a page called Having Fun in San Francisco is a really good one. It's a really good name, and it's something that people feel identified with. And they also do a really good job at asking questions, and you can see that they got a lot of likes here, a lot of comments, like 142 comments. That's a lot. Okay, we talked about all the free stuff you can do on Facebook. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook advertising. And I'm going to have a little water because I'm dehydrating a little bit. Give me a second. Okay, the first thing you have to keep in mind when it comes to Facebook ads is that it takes time to get it right. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you have $50 or maybe $1,000, but you have to make it work, I probably wouldn't do Facebook ads because it takes time to learn what works and what doesn't. You're going to be testing a lot of different ads, a lot of different approaches, and you're going to be making a lot of mistakes at first. So I would say do Facebook ads if you can afford to maybe blow up the first $1,000, because that's what's going to take you to learn what works and what doesn't for you. But once you're once you're doing a good job, then this could be extremely effective, and I'll show you what kind of results you can expect. The other thing is you need to be bold. You need to be to stand out. So this ad says you're fired, and they use very ugly colors, but ugly doesn't mean that it's not effective. Actually, it's just the contrary. Sometimes ugly is the way you get people's attention. Okay, so here they're saying you're fired with very ugly colors, and this definitely gets your attention. So don't be too corporate. Don't play it safe. Try to stand out and be a little weird. Test the heck out of everything. So you'll need to test different headlines, different images, different copy, different calls to action, different marketing approaches. You have to test everything. If you don't, you're never going to make it, because I can guarantee that the first ad you put out there is going to fail. No matter how experienced you are, you're not going to get it right the first time, because you don't know what's going to work. So you have to test everything and find the right combination, the right headline with the right. So for example, the first week you can try the first headline with the first image, and the second week you can just switch the image, and then the week after you can switch the headline. So only change one thing at a time and put 2 ads side to side to see which one performs better. Okay, don't change 10 things at a time, because if one ad performs better than the other, you don't know which of the 10 things actually cause the difference. Optimize for cost per fan, CPF. So basically your goal when you do Facebook advertising is to get fans for your page. And remember, once you have a fan, you can communicate with them by email whenever you want. Okay? Actually, you shouldn't. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Spam people all the time. Make sure that every time you send an update, it's something relevant and something people will find valuable. So in this example, we can see that this company has spent $15 to get 285 fans, and that comes down to 5 cents per fan. Okay, so don't optimize your ads to get more clicks. Optimize your ads to get more fans. Ask people to like the ad in the ad copy. Here you can see how this ad says click like below, and you can click here, and you can see that one of my friends actually already clicked on this ad. Already like this ad. So, and the reason why this works so well is because if you don't ask people to like the ad, first of all, there's no call to action, so you're not telling people what to do. But the main reason is that if you don't ask people to like the ad, then they have to go to your page and like you there, which is an extra step, and you want to eliminate that step and allow people to click on the like link right here. Finally, link to your Facebook page from your ad. Don't link to your site directly. And one of the reasons is, going back to this previous point, if you're linking to an external website or your blog, your site, like some other website outside Facebook, this is going to say like the ad, and that's not going to get you any fans. You want to link people to your Facebook page. Next, use CPM, not CPC. CPM stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, and CPC is cost per click. So you don't want to pay per click. You want to pay per 1,000 impressions. And a lot of people will say, well, CPC is a lot safer. You only pay when people click on your ad. While that's true, you're gonna end up paying a lot more for if you do CPC than if you do CPM. And if you have if you don't believe me, you can just go ahead and test both and see which one ends up costing you less. I can guarantee that the CPM will be much cheaper for you. Use incentivized likes. This is one of the best tips you can get from this seminar. So when you go to this Weekly World News Facebook page, they tell you get the latest breaking, terrifying news daily on Facebook. But first, you must become a fan. And to do that, all you need to do is click the like button above. So they're teasing you with this. It's like you can get all this great information, but all you have to do first is click on the like button. Okay, so this is a really good way when people go to your page. It's a really good way to get them to click on the like button, because that way they can have access to more information. This is another example of a company doing this similarly. The design is not the best. This is I put together this presentation this morning, so it's not the best example I could find, but actually it's the best example I could find in short notice. But I'm sure if you have more time, you can find better designs out there. But basically, take a look at what they're doing here. Step one, they're asking you to like the page. So they're showing you the like button here, and they're putting an arrow pointing to where the like button is. And once they got you to like them, they ask you for your email address, so they can communicate not only through your Facebook page, through their Facebook page, but also by email. So that's a really good way to do it. Finally, change your ads every 3 or 4 days when they get to 25% of the original click-through rate. Okay, so if you're used to Google AdWords or any other kind of advertising, pretty much you can set it up and forget about it. Okay, that's not the case with Facebook. Ads work very well the first couple of days, and then their performance just drops because people just get used to them and they just don't click on them anymore. So monitor your click-through rate. That's the number of people that actually click on your ads. And when this drops to 25% of the original CTR, then it's time for you to replace that with a new ad. And we found that usually this happens every 3 or 4 days. Bid high to get your ads approved faster. You want your ads approved faster because Facebook advertising is very dynamic. Things happen at the speed of light. Okay, so you don't want to put an ad out there and then it takes like 6 or 8 hours for Facebook to approve the ad. And we found that when you bid high, Facebook approves those ads a lot faster. And once their ads are approved, you can go there and you can decrease the bid. So if Facebook suggests between $1 and $1.50 per 1,000 impressions, you can bid $1.50, and then once the ad is approved, you can scale back to $1 or whatever you want to pay for 1,000 impressions. Segment your ads. Don't have the same ads for everybody. Facebook is really cool about not only you can segment your ads by age or whether the person is a man or a woman, but you can also do it by interests. So for example, I put together an ad last night for people who like golf, and also for people who like investment, and also people who read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which which I felt is a book that kind of audience would definitely read and put in their profiles. So make sure that you don't have one ad for everybody, but you segment your ads by each specific segment of your audience, and you can that way learn what works for you and what doesn't. And finally, Facebook is not an island. Okay, what I mean by this is Facebook marketing can be really, really effective, but I don't know a single company that all they do is Facebook ads and they're successful. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, by all means,